I'm at 6120 Alpha Street in Cincinnati, Ohio, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that may be a concern to the buyer. We are going through the clean out. If you're facing the house, it's on the right side center of the basement. There is a toilet flange next to it. It looks like some waterproofing was recently done, and so the toilet is still pulled because of that. The waterproofing, you can see the toilet was sitting there and it's just stuffed, so it'll have to be replaced, I'm assuming. So we have clay underneath the floor, which is pretty good for this era. Having clay versus cast iron is a lot better. This is probably in the 20s or before. So that means you should have clay all the way out, unless it has been replaced. The only real concern with clay lines is that because they have really short sections, like they're about 3 feet, and sometimes you'll see a little bit of root intrusion. That's the most common problem you find. There's a little bit of water here. Now that camera lens is only about a ½ an inch off the bottom of the pipe, so that little bit of water in a 6-inch diameter pipe is normal. And you can see from all the spider webs that the water level hasn't gotten very high recently. There's a little tiny bit of root intrusion. It's nothing to be concerned about. Out here, there's a line coming in from above, either a downspout. Most likely it's an old clean out or something, or an old floor drain or something. There's another little tiny bit of roots. It's not anywhere near the flow line. I will recommend that you have this rechecked in 5 years or so, just to see how much the roots have grown. You just want to make sure that you're keeping these at bay. It may need maintenance on a regular basis, every few years or something. You may have to do a little something, either add some root killer or even have it cleaned. But right now, there's nothing I've seen so far that gives me any concern about the root intrusion causing any current issues or future problems. Now, in this spot here, where it looks like there's a turn down, which they use the connection to drop as it drops down the hill. And so on the way back, we'll take a look at that, because they do stuff like this, and you'll have like a little bit of because this looks like this has been repaired right here, and this has got a fern coat holding it to the clay, and it looks like this is PVC, white and then green, which is SDR 35. And so this has been replaced, most likely by the footage. This was replaced by maybe MSD. And it was a short repair, and then we're going back into clay. And so I may have to get a little running start just to get my camera to jump over it, or I'll have to pull back and put a there we go. I was just able to get it past there. And so you did have a little lip there, but that's not anything with that much fall going into that. That's not going to cause any issues. It just, the way my camera angle is, water will overtake that. But the way the camera was coming down that, it was hitting right up against it. we're dropping off a cliff here. We're about a 60-degree angle, so I should be coming down and getting right next to it. Should be right about at the main. There we are. Okay, so this is the line looked really good structurally. We'll take a look at the one spot there, back up on top of the hill, to make sure that that turn down isn't too loose. But for a 100-plus-year-old sewer line, this looks pretty good. So, I end up running some water here in the stationary tub off to the side of the basement to see if we can just witness some flow through the line, and to rinse the camera off. We're going to give this a second to get downstream. So, it does take a second. We are 77 feet out, so that water's going to take a while to travel. But I am pretty happy with the condition of the line. There's that. See, just making it worse. When it rinse off, I think I have some spider webs on the front of the camera too, which doesn't help. There's that repair. Right at the top here. Around in here where it drops again. There. This is not, it looks like it's shifted a little bit. This is not causing any issue right now. It's open to flow. I am going to pause the video and I'm going to locate this spot and just take a look to see how deep it is, and just to see, I don't see anything getting in. Like, I don't see any mud or anything getting in from above, but I do just want to see where this is and see if there's any evidence outside of there being any issue, because if this was pulled apart, then groundwater would get in and could cause a sinkhole above this. And so I just want to go out and look around in the area where this is located, and just make sure that we don't have any sinkholes or anything starting in the yard. That I can't, I don't see any evidence of that. On the inside, you would see some mud dropping down, stuff like that. I don't see that, but I just want to verify it. So I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to go locate the spot. Okay. I don't see anything. The weird thing is where this was run. I'm assuming that it's from when the repair was done, just below this. That there's a channel where the water is just running down the outside, and you can hope that that doesn't cause any future issues. Now the line is about 3 foot deep there, and so that channel where the groundwater is making its way down the hill is right where the sewer line runs. And so I think it was when they made the repair, the grass or whatever couldn't take root fast enough when they backfilled, and so you just have in it, because of the low spot from digging, it created a channel where where you have all the groundwater from on top of the hill just running down past the old tree. And so it is something you want to pay attention to. I did somehow zero out the footage counter. Anything I need to reference, I will reference on the way out for the footage on the video, but in the bottom left hand corner there's a footage counter, and you'll be able to tell how far out that spot was by how many feet in the negative I am. Apparently when I went to go turn on the locator, my finger must have hit the button to zero out the footage counter. But it was on the way back at least, so we still have a footage counter on the way out. This line looks really good for 100-year-old plus, and for dropping down the hill the way it does. So you have that little bit of that little bit of water is nothing, like I mentioned earlier. You have a little bit of root intrusion there. In a couple spots here up the hill, probably in the house, because of the tree line next to us and behind us. Roots can go a pretty good way, especially during a drought. And so this is where that water was coming in. That's why that was covered. So yeah, minimal amount of roots. I will mention them on the report, but they're not causing any current issues. But it is something, like I mentioned earlier, you do want to, just take a look at it and see if you're going to have to take a look in a few years and see if it's something that you're going to have to do maintenance on. But structurally, the line looks good. No obstructions or issues at time of inspection. It looks good, but again, I did want to mention to monitor the roots and monitor that spot where the water is coming down the hill, because that is directly above the sanitary sewer line. And so if it gets too thin and the hill starts moving, that could affect the sewer line at some point. But right now, everything's in good shape. So that will end the inspection at 6120 Alpha Street in Cincinnati, Ohio.